my friends. I'm Dick Hellman, back with you again. Today I'm starting a new series, building on what we did in our past clips called Washington Bites. We are now starting a new plan called MESA, M-E-S-A, Middle East Security Alerts. And this is Mideast Security Alert number 1 from Merkel and CIPAC. CIPAC, the registered Christian lobby for a biblical stance on Israel in the Congress and at the grassroots nationwide, and hopefully, since we are people of faith, even with the State Department and the White House, to bring our country into a biblical position toward Israel, the Middle East, and the world. But I'm here to tell you that we are today not full inheritors of the blessing. We are, in a sense, a victim of the curse because we have not fully blessed Israel. As an old Chinese curse goes, may you live in interesting times. Do we not indeed live in interesting times? From Ebola coming in from West Africa to our country, and the utter scramble by health officials and public health officials and political officials in the White House and the State Department, even the Pentagon. Clearly, we don't have a complete picture of how to deal with it or how to organize our response. So too with ISIS or ISIL, the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or the Islamic State in the Levant. We've spoken about that. But yes, we are very much at threat from these radical Islamists who want just an Islamic State or a caliphate, not just in the Middle East, from Syria and Iraq to what they call Palestine, the Gaza Strip, or Israel, and also in Egypt, and with Boko Haram in Africa, and the same all over the world. They want a global Islamic State flowing from the Middle East, eliminating Israel, eclipsing the whole Arabian Peninsula where Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states are, eclipsing Iran even, and moving into Europe, particularly into Spain, Italy, even Austria, all the areas where Islam once held sway up until about 500 years ago. And then, or even concurrently or in parallel, they want the Islamist caliphate to come to North America, to the USA, and to South America. So it is a global outreach. And we know that China, not a free democracy itself, is besieged by radical Islamists of the Uyghur persuasion in a province of China, but that's spreading throughout. And even Russia has, as we know, been threatened by the Chechens and many other radical Islamists. So this is a global move to an Islamic caliphate, to bring back the rule of Islam throughout the world. So we are faced by that. And of course, even more critical is the threat of Iran. And I'm here to tell you that each time we hear about new negotiations between Secretary Kerry on behalf of the United States and the other four members of the Security Council, plus Germany, speaking in Geneva or somewhere with the Iranian representatives, we can see that Iran is, to put it most directly and bluntly, they're smoking the United States and the others with whom they are negotiating. They are not eliminating their enrichment capabilities and work. They are not eliminating their march toward nuclear weapons. They are not eliminating, of course, in fact, it probably is not even seriously on the table, their export of terrorism, their support of democracy, their oppression of their own people, and their threatened genocide against Israel, the Jewish people, and indeed America. It keeps coming out because that's what's in them. It's not just what's in their arsenal. In fact, if they were a peaceful democratic state that's for some reason wanted nuclear weapons for deterrence or self-defense, we would not be concerned. It's about not what's first and foremost what's in their arsenal, it's what's in their hearts and in their minds that they're freely expressing. The president of Iran, the Ayatollahs, not long ago, the Grand Ayatollah, Rouhani, in sending people off to make the Hajj to Mecca, had to remind them forcefully that they should work to eliminate Israel and destroy the Jews. This is a genocidal threat. This must stop. So these are the security challenges we are meeting right now. And I'm here to tell you that only we at CIPAC, you and I, and with Merkel's support, are dealing directly and forcefully with these issues and more. And we're the only ones that have the faith and courage, I'm telling you, to work with this Congress, even in the lame duck session after the upcoming congressional elections, to get some recognition by Congress of our need for solid, responsible policy in these areas. Keep your eye on our websites, and we're going to be working on them to express the essence of what Congress needs to say, to express their constitutional authority as the co-equal foreign policy making body with the executive branch, which the legislative surely is, and say to this president, to this administration, and to this State Department, even to the Pentagon, we make the foreign policy of America and you execute it. So we're going to be talking about this more in the days ahead, but this is a terrible, critical, horrific time of multiple threats. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface to tell you what all the threats are that we face today. And it may turn out as we look back in history that Ebola was not the greatest threat. And some other things that we've been spending an inordinate amount of time and money on, that is our government has been doing, are not the principal threats affecting America and threatening our existence. And of course, we want to help Israel, be a good ally to Israel. But as I'll explain in the weeks ahead, Israel is better defended and more prepared to meet the threats all around them than we are. I'm saddened, ashamed, and sorry to have to tell you that we are not ready, but you know it in your heart, and we're going to deal with it in the weeks ahead. So please do everything you can to renew your membership in CIPAC, to find you and your members, your friends, to join CIPAC. Give memberships in CIPAC to your friends who are pro-Israel, and we'll send them our alerts and our emails. And if you've already renewed your membership in CIPAC or you've joined, make a one-time sacrificial gift to Merkel, the Middle East Research Center Limited. As you can see on our website, you get a tax deduction, but more important, you get an investment in America's future to defend America against all these threats that I've described in this first Middle East security alert. Either make one big sacrificial a gift or contribution or whatever you can afford, large or small, or sign up for a monthly giving plan to support Merkel, which in turn supports CIPAC in all the ways that it can. We're going to talk more about this in the weeks ahead, but as you can see, I have never been so concerned about the state and the fate of America and our relationship with Israel and our failure to fully support Israel as a government, as the United States government. We'll talk about these things in the weeks ahead, but we do have the answers. We do have hope. We are indeed praying for our president and our government leaders, and we're hoping that they turn around, get it together, do the right thing for America and for Israel. We'll talk more about this soon. God bless you, and thanks for listening.